guys, let's get started. So the same as we're working with merino wool, felted merino or chenille yarn, the same way with tube yarn. This is the tail working yarn. Make a loop, insert your hand inside, grab working yarn, pull it out. This is your first stitch, and you can make it smaller or bigger by pulling working yarn up and down. We will keep it about 3 inches big, even like 3.5, because tube yarn is not as soft as merino wool and it's pretty thick. So now when you have your loop, when you have your first stitch, insert your hand inside, grab working yarn and pull it out. This is your second stitch. And for blanket 35 by 60, we will be making a cast on or a chain of 13 stitches. The same way as the first one, you insert in your hand, grab working yarn and pull it out. Grab working yarn, pull it out, and the same way for 13 stitches. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can also use your right hand instead of left. Insert your hand, grab working yarn and pull it out, and it's very easy to make a chain of 13 stitches. Here we are, we're done with casting on our first row. Now flip it over on another side, and now we will be knitting these knots that you can easily see in the middle of every stitch. You're keeping the first stitch out, you don't need it, it's already a stitch. And now these bumps, these knots, what we will be using. So lift this knot up and grab working yarn and pull it through that knot. The same with the next knot. Insert your hand, grab working yarn, pull it out. Insert your hand, grab working yarn, pull it out. And tube yarn, you can easily see where the knots are. They're in the middle. So you're lifting the knot, inserting your hand, grab working yarn and pull it out. It's very easy. Keep knitting or pulling out the stitches this way, and make sure that when you're using tube yarn, you're making big stitches, because as I said, this yarn is not as soft as merino wool or chenille yarn at this point, and it's pretty bulky. So in order for you to have a nice and soft blanket, you will need to have big stitches. So here we are, we have our 13 stitches pulled out, and now we're starting our first row. Insert your hand, grab working yarn and pull it out. Insert your hand, grab working yarn and pull it out. Again, as you can see, I'm making stitches pretty big, at least 3.5 inches, because this way the blanket will feel soft when you done knitting, and it will be also looking nicely. If you make tube yarn knitted very tight, it will be really hard and not as good looking, and actually not really easy to use, because it will be really heavy too. So now when we have first row done, we're coming to the second row. We're leaving this first stitch here, we're not knitting it, we're knitting the second stitch. Insert your hand, grab working yarn and pull it out. And keep doing the same way next row. It's quite simple. You insert in your hand inside, grab working yarn and pull it out. As you remember, in the first row I knitted the first stitch, and on the second row, and now starting every single row, I will be skipping this stitch. It's very easy. You just leave it laying here, working yarn go in the back, and you're starting with the second stitch. Set your hand, grab working yarn, pull it through the stitch. The same with this, all these next stitches. Again, try to keep all your stitches the same size and pretty big, about at least 3 inches, maybe even 3.5. And also don't skip any stitches, because if you skip a stitch you cannot do anything to fix it. You will need to unwind the whole blanket and start all over. So okay, so here is the next row. Again, I will show you, we're skipping the first stitch and we are starting with the next stitch. So now we're gonna use this whole skein of 9 pounds, and it will give us a blanket of 35 by 60. So here we're done with the next row. Next row we're starting again. Working yarn goes on the back. We're skipping the first stitch and going in the next one, in the second one. Insert your hand, grab working yarn and pull it out. So as I said, this skein of 9 pounds will give you a blanket of 35 by 60. It's a medium size, enough to cover a medium-sized person from toes to neck sitting on the couch. And if you want to make a bigger blanket, you will need to buy a little bit more of this yarn and sew it together. So now we keep knitting this way and until you have all your yarn done. And now let me show you how you will be finishing. So to finish the yarn, this yarn, the same as Merino or chenille felted Merino, taking first stitch and insert your hand in the second stitch. You have 2 stitches on your hand. Now grab working yarn and pull it through these 2 stitches. Keep 1 stitch that you have on your hand, add another stitch, grab working yarn, pull it through 2 stitches. This is your casting off. It's very easy. Keep 1 stitch on your hand and add another one, and then pull working yarn through 2 and keep the stitch on the hand, on your right hand, add another, pull yarn through, and keep doing this way until you have only 1 stitch left. When you have 1 stitch left, we will make a knot on the end of the knitting project. So here you go, you have 2 stitches left. You put them together on your hand, grab working yarn and pull it out. So here you cast off all of your stitches. You have only 1 stitch left, and to finish the project, you insert in this tail inside and pull it out like that. So this is you. I will not be cutting it, I will show you like that. So this is your finished blanket with this tail. So the tail then will need to be tucked in, but before tucking it in, you will need to sew it together to hide this filling, and I will show you how to do it. Okay, so we will be using this thread. If you can see it, it's very thin. It's very similar in color. So you're taking the tail, the end, one end or another, then you can either pull the yarn a little bit or actually cut the filling close to the yarn and then pull it inside, push it inside. Then you need to push this yarn inside too. In order to avoid unraveling this yarn, you need to fold it that it would, the ends would go inside like that. And then you connect it like this, and then you're taking your thread and starting from inside out, you are sewing this end together. To prevent filling from coming out. And then when we are done sewing, we will weave in this end on the back of some stitches that it wouldn't be noticeable. So make sure that you fold this yarn like that to prevent it from unraveling, because it's a cotton yarn. It can unravel if you don't sew it together. Okay. So when you're done sewing, make a knot and cut. So now we have our end looking like that, and now we can weave it in on the back. This is the front of the knitting, this is back. I'm usually do it on the back of the stitches, first row stitches like that. So tuck it in and like that. So that's how you make this blanket. We have 4 colors of tube yarn available. You can find it at becozi.net. Stay warm and be cozy.